Underdog Daily with BadgeBros, Jon and Nez. And you know what? Shout out to us, Nez, because we are going to show up for work today and actually participate in said work, unlike our guy, Christoph Porzingis, who had different ideas yesterday. We'll talk through that one here. A little bit of a troll job to put him on the cover today, but looking like he might be a nice play today. I don't know if Nez feels similarly. But no more time. No more time for pleasantries today. We're all business because we got a hard out today. We got 2 hours to take care of this NBA slate and then dive into the Dinger streets. Both Nez and I been drafting some frozen ropes this morning there. So a lot of fun to talk through that. But we have a hard out today because our guys over at Unabated are taking their show that resides behind the paywall on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and they're bringing it to the forefront for everybody. And you have no excuse not to tune in and watch because the link is available on Twitter. The link is available in the description below. The link is pinned in the chat right beside us. And when this show is done, it's going to auto redirect you there. So go give some love to our guys, Justin Pham, SBK, and John, who are going to be doing the set the screen one there. You're going to be drafting anyways, so you may as well be listening to some of the best in the biz while that goes down. That's all I had, Nez. That's all I had, but I'm fired up today.
Hell of a rundown. John, I'd be remiss if I didn't comment on that beautiful piece of clothing on your torso there. What are you rocking there? What are you rocking there?
Hey, shout out to our guy Matthew, the sheep seats. Dude, just got to give the community some love out here, man. He was nice enough to bring us a couple of those shirts down to the dog bowl here, but yeah, I don't know, man. Like maybe this is one of those days where you know we've talked that John gets a little sentimental and stuff like that. But the love for the community, the fact that you know Unabated's doing something for free after this, the fact that you know Dan and Rotosurgeon went live last night, Draft Dodgers. Both you and I participated in a draft in which they were streaming. There, I don't know. Stacking Dingers was on the feed when I woke up this morning. Tuma doing a starting pitcher thing with Dark Sheep. So I don't know, man. I said something off the cuff last night to Dan when he said, "Hey, thanks for participating in the draft with us last night." And I just kind of said it off the cuff, Nez, that I was like, community to me is not top down. Community is circular. You know, we're all in this together. We all love these games together. We all boost each other up. You know, you build a nice tool in this industry, I'm gonna have you on the show. I'm gonna share it for the show with you guys, or we're gonna have you. Sorry, we're gonna have you on the show here. Like, but you know, I don't know. Just feeling a little sentimental today. I don't know.
Yeah. I liked the Draft Dodgers show because I didn't catch on the double entendre until a little bit later. That's a very very good name. They do Dinger drafts, by the way, and I think they're gonna do other draft stuff as well. Our guy Dan and Rotosurgeon. Another reason why I like them is because they called themselves the BadgeBros at the end of their show last night.
Nice, love it,
accidentally.
That's great.
It was hilarious. It was very funny. But no, those guys are doing good stuff over there. And it's cool, man. I like to see more people doing Underdog content. You know, there's room for more, man. These games are growing, and you know, people are stepping in, putting in good work, and it's great for everybody, man. I love it. I'm grateful that things are growing and that we have a good community and all that stuff. We got a lot to cover, but I just need to also say shout out to you guys because this is very cool. This is very cool that we get to hang out with everybody and talk about Underdog every single day. I mean, that's be lying if I said that wasn't the dream.
Yeah, man, it's awesome. Yeah, love it so much. Speaking of spreading some love with the community, I think we best start with last night, Des. I think we best go there because an OG member of the community with my eyes, holy smokes, what did I click? There we go. All right, there we go. Last night there, Nez, I was doing the double dip on the show there, didn't play a ton of entries there. So I allowed our guy Johnny Footballs to come in here and take the crown. Very unique build there. We had one isolated game on the slate that happened to be the fastest, most up-tempo game on the slate and went to overtime. and it was basically a full game stack of that, coupled with Luka giving Nico the stare down treatment on this lineup. So 5 from one game, 3 plus 2. One of the scroll the F downs being Bradley Beal getting home there. Yeah, thoughts on this one?
Sick lineup, man. I love it. I love to see the game stack with the OT get home. Every once in a while, those things get home, and it sure did here. I had 40% Booker last night, so him fouling out, did not love it. Did not love him fouling out in an overtime game where the total almost hits 300. So didn't have my best night, but I can't really be mad at myself for how things broke. I had a ton of Bradley Beal too, so I identified this game as well as a hot spot.
Yeah, no, well done, dude. Yeah, directionally accurate, but didn't pan out for you there. I guess we missed Monday as well there because we just did playoff stuff with Pete yesterday, and then we did paywall. And I like to give my shout outs when everybody's watching, not just the paywall. Johnny Football's up here again, but our guy Andrew, GPN GC here, does some content for Rotoballer and primarily a football guy, but finding some success in the basketball streets with this one. Big 15K score for him. So shout out to him as well there. Nez, I said the word football, so I have to mention it before we do. Guys are going to run with potentially their shirts off in underwear for the next 4 days. So we have to start caring about football again. We got to start paying attention on getting some CLV before some of these dudes run fast. So tomorrow, you and I are going to jump in the big board streets there. But it's a short hoops slate, and Nez is still going to have you covered, right, Nez?
Yep. Yeah, I'm going to run something in the AM tomorrow, so it'll be like really early. But we're gonna talk about my first glance at the slate. Okay. You guys can get an inside look of what my ranks are going to look like for the early morning. And I think it'll be cool. It's not normally how we do the hoop stuff, get that early of a look. So hopefully you guys like that before we do our football stuff.
Perfect. Cool. And what's really early approximate? And
yeah, good question. We'll probably run at 10 a.m. Eastern.
Okay. 10 a.m. Eastern, and Membies only for that one. And then we will come on in the usual time slot at the 2 p.m. Eastern, and we will talk about the footballs that is multiple months away.
Absolutely. Yeah, got to get to it, man. It's about that time. That's what pays the bills around here, or around here for the site. So we're gonna get to it. I've been doing a little bit of homework. I got you covered.
Good, thank you. Because I was having a good laugh this morning, just seeing Coach in the Discord say that he was in 20 or 25 drafts at the moment, and I just assumed it was NBA, and he was doing big boards in February, 20 at a time. Truly sick behavior. Shout out to the coach. Looking forward to seeing him at the Dog Bowl next week there. Okay, Nez, the macro question for the slate with the rankings. How many drafts have you done? And then we'll talk through the Q tags and whatever. So macro slate overview for you and spots that you're digging, and then we'll do the Q tags.
Yeah, I have just over 100 main done so far. So nice. I've been putting in work, macro for me is that I do worry about Shea as the 101. And I think that you can get better ceiling opportunities elsewhere. Famous last words, Shea against the Nets. But I do think that there are better ceiling outcomes available from Cade and Tatum today. So I have a pretty serious Shea fade and pretty strong stances on Cade and Tatum in this game here with Boston at Detroit.
Cool.
No, there's a lot of really spots today, man. There's a lot of Q tags also.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I can definitely get on board with that. We'll get to all those good spots when we go spot by spot there. Just interested to hear that off the hop in general. I mean, this is a classic SGA. Can he do enough in 3 quarters in a pace down game to break a slate kind of question mark that we've been dealing with? Mike alluding to the fact that he has Harden as the 103 today. I was taking Harden a little bit boosted up as well there.
Shout out
let me ask
by
you.
Good.
Yeah, there you go. Let's talk through the Q tags right now. The cat Q tag is a nationally televised game, which as you know will piss me off, Nez, because we were talking about it yesterday's show how we need to get Cade more in the limelight. We need to get some of those games flexed to national TV. What better night than tonight than 76ers team without Embiid playing the Knicks team that has a Q tag here in Cat, like that sort of deal, to just go, let's get Boston and Detroit, two playoff teams on national TV, give Cade that spotlight versus a big draw in the East. Like this is what I'm talking about when I'm pissed off about Cade not getting his shine.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. It's crazy. No one wants to see this game on Natty TV. Nobody.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, maybe the Quentin Grimes revenge game. I could go for that, but that's it.
Nice. How do you feel about Cat? Do you think he's going to play this evening?
I'm not sure, but I have Harden ahead of him, so I'm not getting a ton of them. His 80. I mean, I've seen him go anywhere from 3 to 2 to 11. So he's all over the board right now. When I don't have Cat, way more aggressive on Brunson and Josh Hart though.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, I won't fault you on that for sure. Just a good push-pull dynamic in there. Run good, Rick alluding to it. We're always on Josh Hart triple-double watch, especially in a spot like this on Natty TV, and they end up potentially without Cat. The other interesting dynamic that I alluded to is they're already without Embiid on the other side. They're also without Yabu this evening on the other side there. So, I mean, this could be low-key smash putt for Cat if he can go too, right?
It should be. It should be, absolutely.
Okay. We have the Achilles probable tag on Trae Young as always there. He's played through damn near all of them in recent memory. We got second night back-to-back Halliburton, who slept in his own bed last night but will not be sleeping in his own bed tonight. Is that the narrative? No, vice versa. My bad. It isn't the back-to-back. Toronto's on the back-to-back there, but he is sleeping in his home bed this evening. Yeah, so we got the Hallie Q tag there, and then we got the Scotty Barnes one from that same game environment that just popped up for us there on the second night of a back-to-back.
Yeah, that should be a fun one. I am thinking Hallie plays, but you don't see a Q tag on Hallie that much this season, so it definitely is giving me pause.
Yeah, evergreen reminder that the Pacers are one of those classic teams that are very forthcoming with their injury report. We said it yesterday when it was like, oh, TJ McConnell has a Q tag. That basically is an out tag for a guy like TJ McConnell, right?
Yeah, and we knew he was hurt also.
Yeah, that's true. What are your thoughts on Scotty Bolway here?
Definitely not loving the downgrade, but they played last night, and the way that alert came through, I think is making people overreact.
Okay.
He's questionable on a back-to-back, and then they said he's like now questionable. I'm not so certain. Like I wasn't keeping up with injury report filings, but to me, it just seemed like it was just it should have been listed as questionable and not like now questionable, as though it was like a downgrade. But I don't know. I could be.
Okay, let me do a little research for you.
Okay, while you do that, my TLDR on this is like I don't think that he's like. I feel like he's being way too harshly faded. I'm seeing him go in like the 20s now. I mean, if Scotty Barnes plays against the Pacers, you're gonna want Scotty Barnes. I mean, he could absolutely destroy the slate if he plays.
Okay, cool. Yeah, well said, Nez. I just went through 10:30 a.m. Eastern, 11:30, and 12:30, and the Raptors hadn't filed in any of those windows. And then the official filing was at 1:30, and he was just listed on there. So to your point, the wording was kind of like beat reporters got interesting information to start, and then a beat reporter just tacked on the Scotty Barnes. Oh, by the way, also Scotty Barnes is on the injury report. You know what I mean? But there was no official submission. It was clean, full dump, and he was on the full dump.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not trying to accuse our good friends over at Underdog __ NBA of misinformation, but like that was pretty misleading the way that they pushed that notification through. A lot of people that are drafting use those notifications to make informed decisions. I just think people way overreacted to that Q tag.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, so maybe the wording of that that the wording of that is definitely notable because the filings were not there. My thought would be that it was the way I articulated. You know, like they were pulling information from a beat reporter, and then a beat reporter did it in 2 tweets. So someone just kind of like copy pasting the information was like, oh damn, yeah, oh like that like that's why it was kind of like an exclamation point.
Maybe. I don't know. I
Yeah.
didn't see any beats, so
Yeah, me neither. Yeah. Okay, cool. All right, Nez, we can keep scrolling here. There's obviously some push pull with the Scotty Barnes Q tag that maybe IQ becomes draftable in the last round there. He had a 50 spot in recent memory in terms of 50 fantasy points there. RJ is probably going to have a little bit of a pull up as well. Then we got the Bam and the Boston Q tags here. Do you have a lean on those situations?
Yeah, Bam had a comment. Somebody asked him, do you think someone asked him point blank if they thought he was going to play, which like awesome. I need to give that beat reporter like $100 Venmo tip. We need more beat reporters point blank asking these guys with Q tags if they're going to play.
I love it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So he asked him if he's going to play, and he's like, I don't know, man. I hate, being asked about this. Like, we're just going to take it and see where it goes. So like, I don't know. It's hard to really decipher anything from that, but it does sound like he might be sitting is sort of how I took that. So Bam falls quite a bit, so you're not risking a ton by taking him, but
Yep.
I am very, very ready for Khalil Ware to be a smash play today. So I'm on my toes on that. On my toes, keeping an eye out to the street, an eye out and ear to the streets. And I'm also pretty aggressive on Hero today too.
Okay.
And then you asked me about the Celtics, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was the part 2.
Yes, sir.
Celtics, I thought Jaylen Brown was going to get ruled out immediately. So the questionable definitely irked me. Didn't love it. Didn't love that he was listed questionable. And I didn't love that Porzingis was listed questionable either, because I thought he was going to be not on their injury report based on Mazzulla's comments last night saying, hey, we just want to make sure that he's good to go today, essentially, and that he's ready to play tomorrow is what he said last night. But he's questionable. I still think that Jaylen Brown sits and Kristaps plays. And if Kristaps plays and Jaylen Brown sits, Kristaps is like a 4th round pick, and he's going last round. So
yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, love where you're at with that one. The KP situation obviously was bizarre last night. The illness, and then the exact quote was like Joe was like, "Oh yeah, we didn't want to take any chances. We need him available tomorrow night." I do think it's also noteworthy that Luke Cornett has missed back-to-back games here. He's already been ruled out, so they are a little thinner at the 5. Yeah, so just things to think about there. LeBron Iverson asking, are we Underdog employees? No, we are not Underdog employees because you're not allowed to play on the site. If you are an Underdog employee, you have to play only in Underdog sanctioned employee contest there. So we are affiliated with the site, but we are not full-fledged employees. Shout out to Big Fungi, 5 months as a member. Do consider joining up. Get you some information and alpha on the slate tomorrow from Nez as well. Okay, cool. All right, Nez, let's do this. Let's do this game by game. Actually, there was one more question for you that I had. Who said it in the chat? TKH said, worthy to note that swaps are decent tonight. That's bound to happen on a 9-game slate. It is 9, right? 9. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, that's bound to happen. Do you agree with his assessment? Are swaps
absolutely? Yeah. So like overarching point that I didn't really make is that there's like a Q tag in every round, and the swaps are pretty strong today. So you can take these, pretty much, not like risk free, but you can feel pretty good about your swap options if you do have to swap any of these guys. And like I said, there's one in almost every single round, and a lot of guys going undrafted that are going to push up big time depending on how the slate breaks.
All right, sounds good to me, bro. All right, first game on the slate: Blazers and Wizards. This is a spot where neither team is on the back-to-back. Correct. Yeah, I'm gonna be like confirming this as I go. But Blazers have some out tags. Blazers have Time Lord and Ayton ruled out, which brings our guy Donovan Clingan into play, who had a nice night the other night. Almost got that double-double, 3 double-doubles, pick'ems home for us. We were 2 real-life basketball points and 1 rebound away from getting the 3 double-doubles home there. He had a couple stocks. He had 30-something fantasy points, but he did not close. They closed small for whatever reason, and that kind of hurt his minute ceiling there. He only ended up playing like 25 or 26. And then on the Wizards side, Alex Sarr's been ruled out, and Malcolm Brogdon. Those are the 2 noteworthy ones there. Are you getting to anything from this game? Because they do not have high ADPs right now.
No, I love this. I love both teams here. I think Jordan Poole is a really good option in the 6th round. Denny has a pretty high ADP, and like Simons always clears him and as far as PRA goes. But like honestly, the ADP setters, the drafters, I think they know better. And I agree with them that like I think Denny, I would probably take Denny over Simons, even though the pick'em market has them flipped. Both good picks today. Simons maybe a better pick just given ownership because Denny's going in every single draft. Simons is not. So, so 2 different things there. Basically a cash versus GPP discussion there on those guys. But 233 total, spread of 6. This game should be kind of sweet.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that is a big total for a game, and obviously pace up for the Blazers side of the ball there. Yeah, this is good alpha here. Miles suggesting that Sarr's ducking Klingon. I mean, Sarr hasn't really been playing basketball all that much in recent memory, but apparently he punked him in spring league or in summer league. Sorry. I didn't see that. I would love to go back and see some of those highlights.
Wow.
Big summer league guy. Outside of Denny Poole, will you click Klingon's name at all tonight? And Simons, you mentioned. Anyone else that's clickable?
I don't think I'm going to get to Klingon. Just
sounds good.
The pick'ems don't look strong enough, so they must anticipate more like shorter minutes for Klingon once again. We really need Time Lord out. I mean, obviously we have Time Lord Nate out. We need them out against a team where Klingon has to play more. So like against the Timberwolves, like I bet Klingon would be a smash because he got to play big against the T-Wolves. Like you kind of have to think matchups for a guy like Klingon, and they can go small really easily.
Yeah, they can definitely go small. Like they're going to end up starting Holmes and starting Klingon versus each other, but that doesn't mean it closes or plays that way at all. Okay, cool. Yeah, good stuff there. Nez, let's move on to the candidates that you had pushed up a little bit for the 101. We talked about the Q tags associated with this one, but we got Celtics and Pistons here, the game that should be nationally televised, a 226.5. Celtics only 4-point favorites on the road at the second night of a back-to-back. I don't know if that's speaking to the potential rule out of some of these Q tags or if that's speaking to put a little respect on the Pistons names there. But Jaylen Brown, Sam Hauser, and Kristaps Porzingis all with Q tags. Luke Cornett has the out tag. And then on the Pistons side, Simone Fontecchio already been ruled out there. Obviously, the Jaden Ivey and the G Leaguers are still out. And then Dennis Schroeder has the Q tag there. So just thoughts on this one outside of maybe the obvious, draft the Q tags. You said push up, KP and that sort of thing.
Yeah, kind of an oddly tight spread. It opened at 3.5, so I was really anticipating some funny business, and now it is up to 4.5, 5, depending on where you look. Still pretty tight for Celtics versus Pistons. So to me, this I'm anticipating Jaylen Brown sitting and pushing up Porzingis. Tatum and Cade, to me, I think both are likelier to have better ceilings tonight. I think they're both. They're one and I think they're like 1 and 2. But like I'm gonna try to keep my SGA around like 8 to 10%. So I gotta continue to monitor that and alternate between Tatum and Cade. It's not something that I normally do, but it's just the way that I'm seeing things tonight with this is that like I don't think SGA is clear cut 101 at all. I think if you have him 101, clearly fine. I mean, it's SGA. But yeah, I think that you can really go kind of any which way tonight.
Back end options for either of these teams here. You're getting questions in the chat about Derek White viable. He had 5 stocks last night. Joan Duran viable. What's in store for him? What are your thoughts on those two as 6th round picks?
Yeah, I think Duran is definitely in play for sure.
Okay. Cool.
Derek White definitely in play. Porzingis, I think Porzingis is a smash. I'm just playing Porzingis. I'm playing as if Porzingis is in and Jaylen Brown sits, and it's a tight spread against the Pistons, and they're going to need Porzingis quite a bit. So I think 6th round Porzingis is awesome, and if he sits, I have so many different ways to swap that. So I'm not even like sweating it if he sits, to be honest.
Yeah,
I would prefer he didn't, but
right, especially at that price tag, right? Because you're seeking closing line value with that, but the swap options won't be terrible even if he does sit.
Yeah, I think I pretty much lost my opportunity at CLV because he's not in yet. So that sucks. I was chasing that at first. No doubt.
Shout out to Dallas here doing the Lord's work here, saying 120 watching, actually 205 watching, and only 28 likes. What are we doing out here? Please and thank you. Hit that thumb, that subscribe, that notification bell, all that fun stuff. Keeps the lights on and keeps our dogs fed. All right, Nez, this one, Pacers and Raptors. We talked through the Q-tag situation with both Hallie and Scotty Barnes, aka Scotty Bullway. There'll be some push-pull dynamic with Siakam and Hallie potentially sitting, and maybe a little bit with Miles Turner, who goes every single draft right now. Same could be said with the push-pull dynamic of RJ plus IQ with Scotty Barnes. 234.5, 10-point spread. Let me just confirm on the injury report here. Pirtle does still have a Q tag. Okay, cool. He was ruled out last night, but he does have a Q tag there, and TJ McConnell also with the Q tag. So if you wanted to do something cheeky where Hallie's sitting, we actually don't even know if TJ is going to play tonight there. So yeah, thoughts on the options in this one, dude?
Yeah, pretty tricky given these Q tags in this game. So I'm on the side of, hey, I think Scotty's actually gonna suit up, but if he doesn't, RJ Barrett and Emmanuel Quickley become great picks. So we have to keep a very close eye on that one. I'm taking Hallie. Definitely a little worried, but I am drafting Tyrese Halliburton and drafting a lot of Siakam too. A little bit of a revenge game at home. I mean, it is a revenge game. I mean, but it's at home, so that's why I said the little bit there. But he looks good. He looks really good in this spot as well. So it's sort of hard to talk about it just because there's so many Q tags here in this one. But I am drafting the Q tags in this game though.
Are you taking
looking for a fall on Barnes and Hallie at ADP to be specific?
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's exactly where I was going with that. Yeah, we were in sync today, Nez. You're already ahead of my questions, buddy. It's talk about the push-pull dynamic of draft boards. How about the push-pull dynamic of the BadgeBros?
Hey,
anyone else? Whoa. Anyone else? Like Pirtle's missed a couple games here. Any love to potentially get to Pirtle in the last round, or any auxiliary pacer if we happen to get both a sit on Hallie and a sit on TJ McConnell? Like, would you be putting Benny Math in at lock for swaps or anything?
I would consider Nembhard for sure if Nembhard is available. Okay.
Yeah. So Nembhard over Benny Math for you?
Mm-hmm. Cool. No Pirtle though. I feel like he's gonna have a slow ramp back up.
Yeah.
Raptors season is dust, and they don't have any reason to rush Pirtle back in.
He's under contract, and part of their future plans to have that set. Appreciate the kind words from our guy Best Ball Viper. Seriously, lucky to have you guys. Appreciate it, man. Lucky to have you around here too. What up, Nick? Dropping by. Oh, why'd I get logged out here? I will come back in 1 second. All right, fine. Don't dox the password, boys.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's why I was, gotta
Password
be lightning quick
69 for
there.
those who want to know. Spoiler
Hey,
alert.
whoa, whoa. Hey, it's
I
actually
just gotta change
69
it.
420. Yeah, I actually do. Okay, let me bring that news tab back up there. We are getting a little bit of a news dump right now. We got Tari Eason with the out tag, which is second night of a back-to-back, which is kind of to be expected there. And then Keon Ellis, who went to the locker room the other night and then came back and whatever, was a potential Q tag candidate there, but he is going to be listed available to play. Okay, Sixers and Knicks, the game that shouldn't be nationally televised that we already alluded to. Knicks are 12.5-point favorites here. I don't know what that says about the cat availability. The Sixers are just so effing bad. I don't even know how to read that line. Nez, I'd love to know if you have a read on it. But this is a 229.5. Maxey and George going every single draft, and then Cat and Brunson and Hart going every single draft. Who are kind of your favorite targets from this one? As I just double check the injury report that there isn't anything that I missed. OG has the probable tag. So we were dealing with that OG Q tag for a bit, and then probable tag on Quentin Grimes and an out tag on Yabusele. So that could potentially open up some 5 minutes for my guy, Andre Drummond, who is not draftable this evening. I do not think.
I know you're itching. I know you're itching for it.
I was itching, dude. What do you think, dude?
Paul George, if Paul George does go every time, that's not good. That's not good. He should not be going every time. I don't have any Paul George, and I will not have any Paul George tonight.
Okay. Still got the finger wrapped.
Yeah, no, thank you. Okay. Maxey though, Maxey's a tough one. We know what Maxey can do when Embiid is off the court, but this is like a new look Sixers team, and that the vibe check on them is a bit. They feel like death, and I just don't think that you really want any part of the Sixers tonight. So like a Maxey fade, I do think is good. I'm just worried that they just bust out of this slump like teams tend to do when you least expect it, and then Maxey puts up 50 fantasy points. This could easily happen here, and if we get no Cat, maybe this game plays just a little bit faster. I am worried that Maxey's going to absolutely kill me, so I need to figure out where I'm going to end up on Tyrese Maxey. But the vibes in Philadelphia are horrible. But like you mentioned, the spread is not that crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's like the low-key outlier of does Maxey have 45 in his bag in the Garden? That's the outlier, right? It's just does this game play fast enough? And I mean, even if Cat's in, they're really bad at rim protection. So some guys getting downhill to fill it up, I don't know, Kelly Oubre or Maxey attacking all night long could be could be kind of fun from a fantasy standpoint. But yeah, in a vacuum, I agree with you. Just vibes down in a big way for the Sixers. Thoughts on Hart and his ADP? Thoughts on any other draftable pieces? You alluded to not really loving George. George will project better than his ADP, but fucking evergreen, right?
Yeah, no thank you to Paul George. Josh Hart seems very good. I think I have him 15 or 14 right now. Especially if we get no Cat, he becomes even better of a click. So love Josh Hart tonight.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and then the evergreen reminder that you were alluding to there, but you cut out for a half second on me. So just to double down on the notion for people that this team, especially without bigs and no Yabu as well tonight and no Embiid, they play faster. They do play faster. Okay, cool. Let's move on to Hawks and Heat here. Nez, obviously pace up spot for the Heat going against the Hawks. Heat have actually been more fun since no Jimmy Butler, and the double big lineup doesn't play as slow as you would typically think a double big lineup would play, that being Bam and Ware sharing the court, how they've been doing the last month or so. 230.5 here. The Heat as 3-point favorites at home. I don't know what that says to you. about Bam's availability. It's also the North Dakota book. So I might have to get that one off the screen there, Nez. And we can find a real one there. Give it a refresh in a second here. But yeah, thoughts on this game just in general.
These teams played not very long ago, and it was the biggest. I mean, it was like 2 days ago, and it was a huge letdown. Hero let me down, Bam let me down in big ways. But I'm going back to the Hero today. Gonna have a ton of Hero. Gonna have a decent bit of Trae Young, probably 17-18% Trae Young. Average is 16%, so slightly above average on Trae Young, I would imagine. And yeah, I mean, Trae Young's the only Hawk that I think I want. I'll have to consider Onyeka, but I don't have any of Onyeka yet. He's definitely fine.
Okay.
And then Ware, man, if we get no Bam, Ware is just a huge smash, and he's already a good pick even if Bam plays. So if Bam sits, Ware becomes everybody's favorite swap.
Yeah, agreed there. Ware currently has the probable tag there with a left ankle discomfort, which is something that he played through last game as well. Interesting to note that Andrew Wiggins has a probable tag as well there. Obviously, they're going to be without Nikola Jovic for the foreseeable future with a broken hand. And then on the Hawks side, no Larry Nance to factor into that starting 4 role / backup 5 role. So you probably get Mo Gay starting again. Doesn't matter for our game. And Vit is still out too. Yeah. So just those are your kind of extra notes there. But I think I
do like Wiggins too. Yeah, I forgot to mention Wiggins.
Yeah, I think the Heat are probably like the more draftable assets for us on the site right now outside of Trae. There's basically Trae and then 4 Heat pieces. Dyson Daniels. Any love for Dyson Daniels in the 5th/6th round?
Yeah.
Oh, no, he was at the 4th and 5th. Sorry.
Dyson is just a little overvalued.
Yeah.
But you never know when he's going to have 8 stocks. So yeah, you can't be caught with your pants down. You got to have a little bit.
You got to have a little bit. Okay, Nez, next one up here. Oklahoma City Thunder are 17-point favorites on the road against the Brooklyn Nets here. Nets going to be without Claxton, who is suspended due to his propensity to get flagrant fouls. So he's suspended for this one. Noah Clowney is out as well. Cam Johnson has a Q tag. If that breaks the wrong way, man, Nets are going to be condensed and thin because they're also without D'Lo and Melton and Cam Thomas still and Whitehead still. So yeah, man, this could break all the wrong ways for the Nets, and this spread's insane. And that's what's leading to you pushing SGA down because you're anticipating 28 to 30 minutes of 3/4 of basketball tonight, and I guess rightfully so.
Yeah, I'm really concerned about the blowout here. This looks really bad. So, but SGA can also put up 60 in 3/4. So it's a risk, man. It's a risk, but I am taking it, and I do feel fine with this risk. Just given the way that I like to play these games and the things that I look at, it feels like the right move. So I'm gonna have a little bit of a fade on the 101 today. Hardly ever advisable.
Yeah, hardly ever advisable, but if there's ever a time to do so, you've illustrated good points as to why. J-Dub gets drafted as well. Chet has like a 30 ADP. Hartenstein's not really going. I guess if you're off SGA, you're kind of off all of it.
Yeah, J-Dub needs to be going in like the late 20s. Okay. Chet, I maybe, pick 36 consideration and no Hartenstein.
This is a classic game to not push Chet, Like you look at a game 100%. On the calendar, you look at the games on the calendar, you look at the guy who's been resting on back-to-backs, you're thinking about the postseason. This is a classic spot to just, oh yeah, we're going to split the 48 at the 5 right down the middle, and both guys are going to play 24, or we're going to get, 18 and 16 and garbage time run for a backup, whatever, Jalen with a Y, Williams kind of thing.
Jay Will.
Jay Will. Okay, cool. Yeah, well done there. Any net that you could possibly get to, I just bring it up because there are some decently high rate guys that we talk about on shorter slates. Killian Hayes has been starting and playing point guard there for them. Minutes probably not going to be fully up and there to play on this slate, but like Daron Sharp, like there's a rates guy who's going to start at the 5 today. Any love for like something like that? I mean, it's not that far different than like the Klingon play is all I would suggest.
I no.
Yeah, those are redacted plays. Redacted plays, not plays for us over here where we're drafting 42 players or whatever.
Good players.
Good players. Yeah, exactly. Okay, we got Clippers and Bulls up next. Harden getting a lot of love in the chat there. Without Norm Powell here, Clippers are 9.5-point favorites on the road versus the Chicago Bulls. Chicago Bulls have already ruled out Vooch. They have a probable tag on Zach Collins, who became Stone Cold Chalk last night on Redacted when he drew in there. They got a probable tag on Kevin Huerter, and then they got a Q tag on Io, and still without Patrick Williams there. Giddey has a really high ADP right now at the 1-2 turn, but we saw the spike in the rebounds and spike in the box scores the last 3 times out, 2 of which were without Vooch, or 1 of which without Vooch. But he's been balling out in recent memory there. And then, as I alluded to, no Norm Powell on the other side there. Kawhi has the nice big green active tag. Just macro thoughts here and targets for you.
Yeah, Giddey, I mean, classic guy that has been going off in the last 3 games that is way overdrafted because of those box scores. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to have very much Giddey, man. Okay. We'll see how much he falls, but I'm not going to have 0. I'm not going to have anything close to 12% though. So, way below the field on Giddey. And you got the Bulls pulled up here, and that's the only really draftable Bull.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, like, I think you could throw a dart at like Kobe White in the last round, but like the problem is this is pace up for the Clips side, and this is like a higher total than usual for for a Clippers game, but there's still a tough defensive matchup on the other side for anyone trying to fill it up, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm not excited about this game for the Bulls at all. Yeah. I mean, for the spread on this game, it's Clippers minus 8.5. I'm surprised that is not like 12. Really surprised that spread is not larger.
Okay, cool. Let's do the Giddey exercise for a half second here. You talked about not liking it that could be fucking anything with Josh Giddey.
Jesus, you got to rename that, rebrand this exercise.
Yeah. Okay, fine. Let me channel my inner Caleb for a second. Do you want to do a new segment sponsored by Josh Giddey's fan club?
Try again. Anyways, what's the exercise here?
The exercise is how many players are we going to pull up over Giddey in terms of his ADP right now? You ready?
8.
Okay. Hero, just say yes or no. You ready?
Yes.
Fox.
Yes.
Barnes.
Barnes doesn't count. He's got a Q tag.
Okay, so not Barnes as of right now. Zubac.
No.
No. Okay, cool. Ahmed Thompson.
Yes.
Josh Hart?
Yes.
Dyson Daniels?
No. So I guess that's probably where it stops.
Okay, so 4 players getting pulled up. Scotty Barnes doesn't count because you're trying to catch some CLV with the Q tag. And Zubac, that's kind of surprising because I thought you would like that matchup on the other side going against Zach Collins.
I'm up in the air on this one. I think that these guys, I think they both are similar in terms of range of outcomes tonight. And
okay.
Yeah. And Zoobs is falling.
Okay. Sounds good to me. Josh Giddey segment presented by Underdog.
We're gonna get a letter in the DMs after this.
Just to walk it back to the game that we were just talking about with the Thunder, there is Cam Johnson has been listed available to play. So that's making the Nets a little bit stronger, which means that line is going to move 0.5 and probably changes absolutely nothing. Yeah, probably not getting Cam Johnson.
I almost did a very niche reaction there to, do you remember when Cam Johnson was drafted and Kobe White found out? Wow, no. Bro, Cam. Oh, you've never seen that? It's great.
No, I don't
Kobe White finds out Cam Johnson gets drafted like early. He's like, Cam went where? It's like, wow, bro. Wow. And he just like so excited for him. That's my reaction to hearing Cam Johnson is in.
I gotta go see that. That sounds fun. It's great. All right, last two games on the slate here, Nez. We got the Kings and we got the Jazz. This is a 236.5. In Utah, a little bit of elevation there. We always bring that up. 9.5 point favorites for the Sacramento Kings in this one. I already dropped the Keon Ellis news there. His questionable tag has now shifted to available. So nothing to worry about on the Kings side. The Jazz have a laundry list of guys. John Collins, Lauri Markkanen, Colin Sexton, all ruled out already. And Walker Kessler has been listed available to play here. It was previously an illness restrictions there. Walker Kessler, the only Jazz piece that tends to go every single draft here. And then the Kings, it is Sabonis at the front end of draft boards, and then Whack-A-Mole Kings rounds 5 through 6. Do you have a favorite this evening? And are you getting to any Jazz players?
This is like a very sneaky, awesome game. I mean, I call it sneaky just because like the Jazz players, just to start with them, are like mega cheap, and they're missing, like you mentioned, Lauri, Sexton, Collins. So we've got Walker Kessler, ADP 32 right now with the big green active tag. Gonna play like 32 minutes tonight. Keynote, Jordan Clarkson, Isaiah Collier, like these four guys could be very much, optimal tonight in the 6th round at very low ownership. Love those guys. And then for the Kings, let me run my Kings model, find out who the cheapest King is. Malik Monk. Malik Monk is the King you want tonight.
I love the Kings model. And Malik Monk, if we're using the recency bias on the Kings model, Levine smashed a couple times out ago. DeRozan smashed a couple times out ago there in the Pelicans game that was like 42 minutes or whatever it was. We haven't seen the Malik Monk smash in a minute. So just using the he's due baseball model, it's fucking Malik Monk night.
Well, technically it'd be Sabonis because Sabonis had 25 points last game out.
Oh, okay, good. Good thing we ran the model.
Yeah. Malik Monk, 46 points against the New Orleans Pelicans on Valentine's Day. So he may be due.
Okay. Yeah, there's a classic here from Nick. It's Jordan Clarkson time. Jordan Clarkson. Love it so much there. He's low-key sneaky in the end there. When he draws into the starting lineup and all the other handling is out for a bit, other than Keynote coming off the bench, I won't say no. Kind of pace up.
This game's gonna be a track meet, man.
Dude, it should be. It should be. And people give the Kings too much credit when they look at the Kings, right? Because they're accustomed to the lighting of the beam, the playoff success from the last, 2 years. They're expecting them to be like, bro science guys like me, who look at the Kings. I'm going like, yeah, they're 4th in the West. They're always just 4th in the West, right? Like this team is a cellar dweller right now. They're fighting for their playoff lives in a play-in game. They're playing everybody, big time minutes here. Like they're not that much better than like the Jazz right now. So this could be a little close here. The Jazz a little frisky right now.
Yeah, I mean the Jazz are down like everybody, but
yeah.
I think this game should be a lot of fun.
I mean, this is classic little correlation spot. Malik Monk, Jordan Clarkson in the last 2 rounds with picks there, going back and forth.
Should be fun.
Yeah, why not? Okay, last game on the slate there. We have the Rockets on the back-to-back, and we have the Spurs not on the back-to-back. On the back-to-back. They played the Pels last night. My bad. Okay, so both teams on the back-to-back here. Obviously, Spurs without Wemby. I have yet to see a Spur not named Fox get drafted. This is Late Night Hammer and the second of the nationally televised games on ESPN. Houston has already ruled out Fred VanVleet, aka Dick Van Meat, and Atari Eason. They have not officially submitted that yet, though. But they do both have out tags. They're not. The injury report is blank for both of these teams. I imagine they submit in 45-ish minutes time here. But yeah, let's just talk about this one in general. There, any other Spur other than Fox for you to get to, and what do you think of Ahmed Thompson's ADP and Alfred Şengün's ADPs?
Vassal, decent game, 31 fantasy points last time out, but no, I'm not getting to any other Spur today, and I'm barely getting to Fox. 9 point spread, 8.5 point spread, depending on where you look. Not great. In Houston, and Houston hates the Spurs too. Because Wemby, kind of shit on them, little bit of lore when Wemby was when Wemby was in the draft and the Rockets didn't get the first overall pick, he was like celebrating, and they're pissed at them for that, in-state rivals. The Rockets are going to try to, put the hammer down against the Spurs. I like the Rockets though. Pretty much every draftable Rocket I like ahead of ADP.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I like the Şengün matchup going against Bismack Biyombo on that second iteration of the 10-day contract there. Yeah, I had Fox a little bit lower. I was pushing up Hero and stuff like that above him. Now I think those ADPs have flipped. Any love for Jalen Green? This might be his last time with like the lead handling role. I don't know. It just kind of feels like a Jalen Green spot. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, second night of a back-to-back, like, hey, Jalen, go get yours tonight. Just give us that 43-1 line from Jalen Green in the last round.
Yeah, no, I really like Jalen Green tonight. I have a lot of Jalen Green, so I'm going to end up with a lot of Jalen Green in this spot. Yeah, like you said, a little bit of last hurrah there. Looks good. Looks very good compared to ADP tonight.
Cool. Bron Iverson, man, you got to hang out more. You got to learn you some ball if you don't know Dick Van Meat, man. We got all the nicknames in the league round here. You're exposing yourself as a non-ball knower. Nez, that's it, man. That's 9 up. That's 9 down. That's as fast as we've ever done it because we are on a little bit of a time crunch here to work in tandem with the people at Unabated. Any final thoughts before we jump into draft in terms of ADP, game environments, plays we didn't talk about, scrolls, anything?
No, let's just see how these lobbies look.
All right, let's do it. Yeah, I imagine they're going to look quite different than when we were drafting this morning. I did 11 of them this morning, and now playing a little bit of catch up. I know you said you did 100. You're way ahead.
Yeah, I've been putting that multi-enter tool and active tab to work on desktop. So
honestly, we cannot reiterate enough how much of a godsend that was to change the multi-entry function to be toggleable. Toggleable, is that a word?
Yeah, it is.
Man, that was
yeah. So I feel bad for the people in my lobbies because I am I'm bleeding a lot of clock, but it's because I'm just queuing and moving on. But it's been awesome, and that's like my new process is like if you have the time, which I do, drafting these drafts by hand is like one of the biggest edges that remain. Being able to scope out your room, know guys you can push, know guys that you can't push, whether it's a Q tag with a no badger or a guy that projects well, it's valuable to know who you're up against.
All right, Nez, we roll the 101 because why wouldn't I? The sharp minds that be, aka Nez Takes, are telling me to queue up Jason Tatum right here.
Yeah, I think you can go Tatum or Cade.
Let's flip the board, big dog. Let's flip the board. Let's take the number 3 and put him at number 1. Prove that we are ball knowers. Track us in lockstep with us there too. Passing on SGA at 2. We'll see what Chris, speaking of clock bleeders, we'll see what Chris does here at 3. We got our friend Nick in here. We got Big Mo in here, and we got Papa 8. All right, Papa AIDS rounding it out there.
Great name.
Nick is in lockstep with us here, pushing up James Harden. Sabonis goes at 5. Whoa, Alfred Şengün going at 6. Love it. He's low key. One of my my favorite picks of the day right now.
Identified him pretty early that he was going to be way undervalued.
Oh. Oh, good, clean fun going on in the chat right now. This kind of, looking like how I would have it ranked. It's interesting to see Cat fall all the way to 7, as you were alluding. He sometimes goes as high as 3, sometimes falls as far as 11. So, yeah.
Yeah, he's a tough one. He's a tough swap if you have to swap him. I'm not so sure that you are live for first if you're swapping Cat. I mean,
right.
If Cat's out, you're praying Bam is also out so you can get that Ware swap.
If Cat is okay, let's make this pick first, then I'll ask you the question. Okay, we talked about how we were going to pull guys ahead of Giddey here, so you don't want Giddey at this corner. Who do you want here?
I would take Amen
Thompson, we're pulling up. You want to go a little game correlation with Fox, or are you out on that side of the ball? We could do Scotty Bolway. We could do the Zubac stuff. What do you like?
Josh Hart.
Josh Hart. Okay. Not even a name that I mentioned there. So you like Josh Hart at like pick 13, even if Cat plays, or is this a contingent draft pick?
Definitely contingent. Okay. But Hart, even with Cat in, I trust the median and the ceiling greater than I do Fox tonight. I'm really worried that like the Spurs are. I'm pretty worried about Fox and the Spurs, man. Not gonna lie.
Okay.
But maybe do it all. Fox can truly do it all. But you know, we're seeing a like I'm I keep a good eye on these Fox pick'ems. These are pretty bearish compared to where he's been at in games past without Wemby.
Okay, cool. Yeah, good notes there. We talk about looking through the pick'em lobbies and juxtaposing what's going on there with the drafts. Sometimes they can be a little misleading with some of the Q tags, and you don't know if a book's hedging or if they're accurate. In a case like this, where we're not dealing with any ins or outs or potential whatever, they're just kind of putting that at flat value and telling you, this is what the mean outcome is. And if that's looking bearish, I'm not overly excited to draft him either.
Yeah. It's really, and I prefer getting off ADP at the, when we're drafting at the 101. So,
Matt saying, I know auto drafters would hate it, but what about NBA daily drafts with positions for larger slates? Any consideration there, Nez?
I think that we have just such a great setup without positions that I don't think it'll ever happen.
Yep.
It would be really cool to add that nuance, but I don't think it'll ever happen. I don't think it should happen, but would be cool. Would be cool. I guess that's what best ball is for.
Yeah, I fully agree with you. All right, Nez, do we start bringing up Walker Kessler here? Do we think about KP? Do we want the Bam Q tag? What do you like?
I could do Kessler here.
Yeah, let's start. This is the fuck around, find out draft. Walker Kessler. Whom else do you like here?
RJ looks pretty damn good. Monique.
You like Monk tonight?
I'd probably do RJ. Yeah.
All right, fine.
Because RJ, this is a good like if Scotty Bolway plays, Very fine pick for RJ at this ADP.
Mm-hmm.
If Scotty Bolway sits, we're going to be taking RJ at the 3-4 turn, or the 2-3-4, the 2-3 turn.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's
like he becomes that attractive of a pick considering the ambiguity of the guys ahead of him.
Right. Yeah, well said. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I agree with you with I was thinking about the positionless stuff. The one also isolated problem with the position thing is there's unredacted, for instance, the whole talk is pay down or pay up at center, right? And you kind of don't give yourself that option with positions on our site because there's only one Jokic in each draft. So the Jokic advantage on isolated slates is even greater than in a positionless one, right?
Yeah.
Especially without Wemby like rest of year. Yeah, it's kind of crazy because there's no way to value like salary. We can't make the 101 even more expensive than the 101, right? So the bigs advantage of playing Joker is like astronomical.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would be crazy.
Like you don't get 3 second-round picks for taking Charles Bassey in the 6th round.
Right.
Which is effectively in a salary-based game, what you end up getting is, okay, I'll punt at the big to not face the Joker teams, to then whatever. Yeah, it would be.
You know what? If somebody's dying to play positional dailies, I got just a sport for you in about a month.
Right. There you go. Perfect. And we also got that one on ice right now too. Ice basketball.
That's right.
You guys can play that one if you want to draft some positions.
No disrespect to the puck bros.
Yeah, it's very fun. Very fun. All right, Nez. Zinger still going, maybe a little more pushed up now in the 5th round there. Bam goes there. Derek White getting some love from Chris, trying to get ahead of potential out tags coming there, but might just be fine at ADP. Anyways, a keynote for Nick, proving that he's a little bit of a ball knower there, trying to get ahead. Yeah, I'm going to give you a name, and I think you might like this name. Jaylen Brown comes all the way back to us. I mean, we could click it, but we took Tatum, and the thesis is kind of like he sits, right? So maybe we don't. George is going to project the best here. What if we scroll the F down and we add Khalil Ware to this?
Yeah, I would say Ware or Simons for sure.
All right, let's do Khalil Ware. He could potentially be a big riser as the day goes on. So could potentially IQ in the last round there. Yeah, a lot of fun names at the back end to click through, and a lot of shifting ranks and dynamics are going to change over time here. Nez, we're on a strict timeline today, so I think we're going to cap it at 1 NBA draft. Tie the book on it, or tie the whatever. You know what I mean. Close the book on
close the tie.
NBA. Close the tie. We are going to close the book on NBA right there, and we are going to jump into dudes drafting dingers. Nez and I have done a lot of dinger drafts. I have done 2 behind the paywall the last 2 days there. Easy had some good alpha when he hopped on with me yesterday. If you didn't see that one, go back and check it out. We got 10 more spots to draft alongside of us. Maybe we'll do a little pick'em stuff as we go, but I will say you guys are all going to have access to the money-making portion of the program, which is what the guys on Set the Screen say every single time that the projections drop at 4:30 Eastern, and then they switch into their pick'em segment. You guys are going to get a taste of that magic today for free right after us, and they're going to be building out some potential entries. They're going to answer your questions about potential pick'em plays. So, we could fuck around and find out with a couple pick'ems here for sure. But I will just say that today's a little abnormal in that regard. That you guys will have the opportunity to do that. Anyways, back to the dinger talk here, Nez. I've done quite a few. I've done quite a few behind the paywall there. You've been on stacking dingers. We've done a whole bunch of baseball stuff, but we haven't done a whole lot of baseball drafts together. So I think this is good.
Yeah, let's see what we can do here. This 103, it's pretty nice. Very much enjoying this, but seeing Bobby Witt go 103 quite a bit.
Interesting. Okay. Thoughts on that? Thoughts on who will potentially select here?
I think if I was to 1v1 it, I would probably, just in a vacuum, probably take Bobby Witt. But like Soto's an outfielder, man. So it's got to be Juan Soto at 103. Like it's got to be Juan Soto 103.
Do you give any credence to the combinations associated with like Soto and stuff like that exist from previous, where Lindor was falling back every single time and Pete Alonso was going in the 50s, and people have the 3 stack that is now unobtainable?
No, I don't know why anybody would care about that.
Cool. Yeah,
just like sure. Yeah. It just doesn't really that doesn't factor in for me at all. Those are nice teams. Those are nice squads. But I think Lindor's probably one of the more overdrafted players in the contest right now.
Okay. Sounds good, dude. I tend to agree with you. We had that debate on whether you'd rather have 120 games from Seager or 145, 48, 150 from Lindor relative to price points. So, yeah. Nez, I got to ask you the question here, because my guy, my king, my GOAT, Sam Olson right there, doing what I've been doing, pushing up Fernando Tatis Jr. and taking him at 5. I've been taking Tatis over that Tucker Carroll tier. I've been a little bit of a coward in keeping Ellie ahead, but thoughts on this potential play? He revealed to the people behind the paywall yesterday that he has 41% Fernando Tatis Jr. As of right now, and he is amongst my highest owned. I'm purposefully not refreshing my exposures until I get to 50 dingers, so we will see the actual number. But yeah, he is. He's going to be up there for me as well.
Yeah, I love it. I think Tatis's ceiling is crazy, and we talked about it before. This is the first normal offseason Tatis has had in years. I like their lineup quite a bit as well. Could be a massive season for Fernando Tatis, and he has I don't want to say 40-40 upside, but like 40-20 for sure upside in his range of outcomes, and it's hard to get that. It's very hard to get that.
You want to hear one thing that I have been thinking but haven't said out loud yet, that I've heard nobody else say? How about the addition of left-handed middle of the order power protection in Jackson Morrell behind him?
Yeah, that's massive.
Yeah, every other lineup construct that we've talked about with him for years, it's always been about Machado and Cronenworth, and no disrespect to like Cronenworth and Xander Bogaerts, but like they're not the quality or potential ceiling of a player like Jackson Merrill. And that addition, it just feels like he's going to have so much more protection and so much more production around him than years past.
Yeah, I mean, you saw it last year, and I think Merrill can improve too. He's the dude is not even 22 years old yet. Not even 22 years old yet. And picked up center field last year and was a good center fielder, like a very good center fielder. Like he's like, you cannot really overstate how sick of an athlete Jackson Merrill is and how good he was last year. And I think the projections on him are light. I think they're pretty light. And I would probably take the higher on pretty much anything that is projected for Merrill. And him just makes that lineup so much greater, so much more powerful. Yeah, that Tatis Merrill stack is a lot of fun.
Yeah, and it goes right there to the GOAT, last year's champion, Sam Olson. We almost got a Francisco Lindor fall, but Jump Free said, fuck you, and took it away from us there. Nez, is this going to be like my second ever Paul Skeens share? Is this a stopgap for you, or do you like someone else here?
I like Paul Skeens here. It may shock you to find out.
You don't say. All right. Fine, we'll do it just for you because my Paul Skeens exposure is going to come via you this season.
Just take the detour. Just take one detour, and then you can still draft like 6, 7 straight bats after this, and and have really good teams. You will, and then now you have the best pitcher in baseball as well. Like,
that's so casually. I like Paul Skeens.
That was the joke. That was the joke. Thank you.
He actually, man, shout out to Underdog for this content stuff. He's on the Section 10 or on Baseball is Dead. I imagine he'll be on the Baseball is Dead with Kravis. He sent out a picture on his Twitter there that he was doing an interview with him today. So that's so cool that they have a group down in spring training and they're doing that. All right. Are we going to appease our guy, Davis Maddock, telling us that it's laying goat all day right here? Potential 30-30 ceiling? Or do you prefer Brent Rooker to him because of the oblique situation and ADP, etc.?
I think you can do Wyatt.
Which do you prefer?
Brent.
Okay. Let's do it.
Yeah. I do prefer Rooker.
I think the Langford ceiling, it's undeniable. The oblique's a little scary right now, potentially getting like a week off and then maybe having 2 weeks to ramp up to the regular season. But like the potential for 30-30, like he's just such a pro-ready hitting profile. It's why we fell in love with him last year.
Yeah, he didn't like set the world on fire. So, but I mean, he is a second-round pick. Like he was pretty solid pretty much all season. Did have like he did have a pretty big slump, but his projections look fantastic, and that team in general should have a much better season than they did last year. So I think Wyatt is a very fine pick at ADP. I just think Brent Rooker, because he's Brent Rooker, because he plays on Oakland, I think he's underpriced. I think if Brent Rooker and the Oakland A's, same team, played for a different team, and we're just different name. Like it's the name value why we don't take Brent Rooker in the mid-second. It's because we're worried he has the Oakland A's stench on him, and he's Brent Rooker. Nobody can trust it, but he's done it for 2 years now, and he's expected to do it again.
I think potentially playing in like a PCL park could help in a big way too. Like, because that was one of the worst places to hit home runs. I do think the fact that he doesn't really run and he's he's not a 0 in terms of stolen bases, but 6 to 10, like that kind of guy. But like, I think just to poke holes in it, age 30 and was like a 28-year-old breakout, 27-year-old breakout prospect. Does he have 40 homers in his bag, especially if the ballpark's better? Absolutely. But like he doesn't have the kind of same, this is going to be a first round pick next year, potential ceiling that like Curio, Merrill, Acuna, like these guys in the second round have.
Yeah, I hear that.
I'll
but like nobody gets this disrespected as Brent Rooker does. Brent Rooker hit almost 40 home runs last year and 112 RBIs last year, playing in a better park with a team that's going to be better than it was last year. And like people don't want to take him because he's Brent Rooker and he plays on the Oakland Athletics.
Yeah, he's getting kind of like the old Chris Davis with a K treatment, where it's like, oh great, he's going to hit like 40 plus homers and he's just going to like not do much else for me and hit 250.
And he's expected to do it again. The projections are not like he projects so much better than Wyatt Langford. Love Wyatt Langford. He looks like he should be a much better player than Wyatt Langford, and he projects better from an underdog standpoint than Churio does too. Like it's just that these are shiny guys. These fit the type of players that best ball drafters like to take, so they take them there.
It's the evergreen like breakout ceiling debate with like young emerging stars juxtaposed to proven projection, right? Like that's the evergreen debate. And like, how do you model and forecast the ceiling outcomes? Like the right tail outcomes for like Wyatt Langford is he's a first round pick next year. The right tail outcome for Brent Rooker is probably not. No, based on the fact that he has a good ceiling, that he has a good performance this year.
The right tail outcome for the right tail outcome for Langford is like Brent Rooker's median, is what I'm trying to get at. Like that's just the truth. So
yeah. I don't like Nimmo, but if you want to stack Nimmo, I'm a little scared of the plantar fasciitis, but we did get a bullish report the other day. Jazz Chisholm's kind of fun. Wheeler fell, but we already have Skeens. What do you like?
I think Nimmo with the stack.
Okay. You're not scared
of
the
Nimmo, you got to do it with the stack.
Okay. You're not scared of the plantar fasciitis stuff at all?
I trust him. He says it feels good, and he had a decent year last year too, even with all that. I mean, that Mets lineup is one of the best in baseball, and this is like the same Nimmo ADP as it was in years past, and outfield in general got more expensive. So to me, it just feels like an unfortunate run it back.
Okay, cool. I really like this comp from Timmy Carr. Just saying late bloomer, like Nelson Cruz style. That's a pretty good comp. Like hard hit metrics, sells out for power. If he can get the average like a little bit north, because peak Nelson Cruz did hit a little bit for average. Yeah, and he's gonna run a little bit more than Nelson Cruz ever did too.
Brent Rooker almost hit 300 last year.
Yeah, but the projection models will tell you he's a 248 guy. Nez, who do you like here?
I do like O'Neal Cruz.
Sure.
Believe it or not.
Yeah, believe it or not. Nez chasing Pittsburgh Pirates ceilings. Who would have thought? Who would have thought in our first draft together? Our first full draft together?
Yeah, have you taken a lot of Randy Rosarina at that pick?
This is great. Curio could be anything. He could even be Brent Rooker. Oh, I love that shit. I don't really take Randy Rosarina. I'm scared. He stopped running when he came to Seattle. That right-handed power goes to die in that park. He was a fringe 2020 guy at best. Like he consistently did 2020, but I mean it was 2020 on the numbers every single time. He hit under 220 last year. I think he hit like 218 or something like that. I'm a little scared, man. Yeah, I'm a little scared. Yeah, I don't know how to feel about it, but I've been kind of
I'm a little worried. Well, I mean, I'm big worried. I don't have a lot of Randy, but I think where he just went is fine. And if you can get him stacked with Julio, then like that's like you should. If Randy falls back to you in the 5th round and you have Julio, like that should be an auto click. I think you just have like those are so correlated. Probably one of the most correlated stacks that you should be taking.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, absolutely. That's a good shout. It's funny from Davis. Your Venom was just said projection. The projection. Yeah, I let's think of some other ones there. Who do you think are some of, maybe let's keep it pinpointed to like the first 1 through 8 rounds. Who are some of the most correlated ceiling outputs? Like I think that was a really good one you hit on there.
I think the Blue Jays.
Yeah. Like if Vlad does,
I'm not so sure what. Yeah, Vlad needs those RBI opportunities.
Yeah, if Vlad does like the 1,700 points, he's going to drag Springer and Bo Bichette hitting for average in front of him or getting on base in front of him along in counting stats. Yeah,
Vlad's awesome, but we really need his teammates to pull their weight.
Yeah, I think that's a good one. I think some of the Texas guys all paired together, like I'm fine with Seager on his lonesome, but like Seager plus Wyatt feels good because if Wyatt breaks out, Seager's probably doing a lot alongside it. Yeah, that's a good one. Bellinger plus Dominguez. Belly hitting in the middle of the lineup, Dominguez leading off.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't think of them as like need to stack. I think they just benefit from being on a great team.
Sure, yeah.
But they stack well. Don't get me wrong.
Ian Happ and Tucker or Suzuki. That one feels like a decently correlated bet.
Yeah. I think you do want to correlate that one. Those guys on their own are good picks, but the premium you're paying, to me, is one that is like you should be stacking. It's kind of a team bet with how and I like them a lot.
Yeah. Junior goes right in front of us. He's been kind of pushing up there. Dylan Cruz going as well. Nick Castellanos, everybody's least favorite pick ever. We could chase some ceiling with Dominguez. We could stack up Mark Vientos.
Dominguez for
Yeah,
me.
shoot a little ceiling here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't taken a ton of them. You know, like he was a big time prospect. Everyone called him the Martian.
I think
There's
he's
been
gonna fly
reports.
up.
I think he's definitely a CLV guy. That doesn't mean he's necessarily a good pick. You know what I mean? Like, I do think he's going to rise because of if he hits 2 nukes in spring and he's a Yankee, and he's going to lead off, like as they're alluding to right now, potentially, despite him saying he didn't enjoy leading off in the minors there. And if you get like, oh, Stanton's still not swinging and he's going to start the year on the IL, there's no way Jason Dominguez doesn't rise. Now, does that mean he's a good pick? I don't know. Do you think he's a good pick?
I think he's a great pick right now. I think he's a great pick.
Okay.
If he hadn't came out last year and had like a poor, 18 game debut and gotten hurt, he would be like a 3rd round pick.
Okay. Yeah.
But
I mean,
he saw a bad debut, and so everybody has, trepidation on him. But like we've been waiting for this guy to come up.
If he had I mean, I'm not going to say Randy Arozarena because it was likely the greatest postseason run ever, but if he had, some form of impact like that, Vientos for the stack, SP number 2, Taylor Ward as kind of an outfield tier break. What do you like?
I don't like. We can do Vientos for the stack. I don't love it, but I would say Vientos or like Nola.
Okay.
And Nola not even because we're building out Mets.
Yeah, good point. I don't like Vientos in a vacuum. He really outperformed everything last year with the home runs. Does he have 40 home runs in his bag hitting in the middle of that lineup? I don't know. Maybe. I don't love Vientos, but if you're ever going to do it, it's on a team where we took Nimmo and Soto.
Yeah, he does feel pretty regression bound. Yeah, he's not going to slug 500 next year or this year. 27 home runs in 111 games is crazy.
Yeah.
And he tailed off at the end of last year pretty harshly. So that kind of left a bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah, some interesting stuff in the chat here. Vientos is a beast. Saw him, he's the most pure hitter I've ever seen. Breakout wasn't a surprise. I mean, he's gonna have every opportunity in the world to stay in that lineup, and he was amazing last year. Like, what was it? The five what slug?
516.
Yeah, 516 slug would be like if you extrapolate his numbers over a full season, he would have been like he'd be like a first round pick. Yeah, he was on a torrid pace last year.
Great stack to get him with. I mean, a Nimmo, Soto, Vientos stack is a ton of fun. I mean, Vientos has all the RBI opportunities in the world with this setup.
Yeah, for sure. Haven't looked at Mets postseason schedule or anything like that. I know you're not as schedule pilled as I have been, but might be something.
Yeah, it's just because it's out of laziness, and to me it makes it less fun. I just rather draft guys that I like, and I don't want to have to think about the playoff boogeyman. I'd rather just let the chips fall where they may. But if you are trying to maximize your ROI, you should be schedule pilled.
Good shout on not stacking the Aaron Nola because in the finals they do play Philadelphia 4 times. So that would be negatively correlated. Texas, they play Texas in the last 3 games. Little run back with Wyatt Langford.
Nice. Run it back. Good correlation.
But they're at Detroit, so not a good hitting environment for 3. But then they're at Cincinnati for 3 in the finals. So Mets at Cincinnati for 3 in the finals. Kind of fun. Guys, I'm going to drop some resources in the chat. Just, shit I've been looking through. There's the schedule. It's not nicely formatted, but you guys can click through that one. I'm going to share Easy's ranks, which I've been messing around with. You might need a login for that one. And then I will share Sweating Dingers. And this is going to be an ugly URL because, you know what? No, I'm not. I'm going to do it like this. The most recent Sweating Dingers I was looking at was the exposures of last year's champ, one of the best players on the site, our good friend Sam Olsen 31. I actually just thought that was an interesting experiment. I wasn't going to bring this up, but now that we were talking about this, it's just interesting to note like the archetype of some of the players he went off, like absolutely smashed on Matt Chapman, ceiling output and stolen bases at his age, kind of surprising. Whatever. Taylor Ward was steady Eddie, but like MJ Melendez fell on his face. Jimenez was fine and like kind of like an accumulator. Kikuchi was okay. Trout didn't play much. Cabrian Hayes was awful. It's just interesting to like, oh yeah, even within his exposures, it just takes one, right?
Yeah, not a lot of smashes there.
Yeah. We could do a cheeky Toronto thing. This is kind of where I like to start my pitching staff, or in our case, take a second one. Who do you like, Nez?
Let's do a pitcher. Which pitcher do you like?
Let's take Yamamoto because I don't take him very often, and we got a little bit of a fall, and I do see the ceiling. Dodgers were brutal in terms of 2 starts last year. Like nobody got 2 starts on the Dodgers ever, which really hurts in our scoring format. So that one isn't. Yeah, I don't know. I have no Yamamoto basically yet, but I watched him pitch the other day, first game of spring there, and I thought he looked nice, man. Like he can dice it up. Like him and Glasnow, just feel so electric in short innings. I like Yoshi. Innings. Yeah. Royce Lewis greater than Vientos. I like that take because Royce Lewis is amongst my highest owned players. I like that take.
Except I think Vientos in a late call up played more games than Royce Lewis ever has in one season. But yeah,
it was a fun comp. Jason Dominguez is Jalen Warren from Davis.
What is that?
Slappy stuff, and then the slappy pick. And then who's the Yankees? Najee Harris to ruin it. Would it be Stanton coming back? Nez, you want to tack on another pitcher here? Do you want to scroll for a hitter? Do you like anybody in this range?
I like Matt McLain.
Interesting. A guy I haven't clicked yet this year. Let's do it.
Yeah, McLain or a pitcher, but I like McLain here.
This is interesting doing this together and like just letting you be like, hey, who's the guy you like here? Like just from a learning experiment from my side, because like I only have one Skeen share. I know that O'Neal Cruz maybe have 1 or 2. I have no Yamamoto. I have 0 Matt McLain. I have 0 Nimmo, and I have maybe 1 or 2 Dominguez. That's just like my bro science exposures off the top of my head. So kind of
I do take a lot of Eddie here too. Like all these pitchers and this is the pitcher. Like this is where you start to draft pitchers round 8. Like this is where the most pitchers in the draft go off in round 8. So this is where people start drafting pitchers. So it is a little risky to not get one here. But Matt McLain, in Great American Small Park, hopefully, get full health on him this season. Should be should be a great pick, man. I think McLain is a dude. So this could be a lot of points coming from this pick here.
Cool, sounds good, man. This is interesting. Timmy, like same narrative as when we were looking at Sam's stuff there. That 2 finals teams, but he had Evan Carter, Zach Galloff, and Justin Holiday at 26%, and still got 2 teams to the finals there. Reminder that it's about the combos and the isolated players, but it's interesting because the Zach Geloff pick probably would have led people to Rooker, and that was a guy you needed. So maybe there's some bullishness there The Holiday pick was probably a tack on for stacks, and most of the Baltimore stuff did pretty well. Yeah,
Yeah, Holiday was expensive too. That was
it's true.
that was a bummer. I had my exposures were pretty ugly too, and I had like 20 something percent advance rates, so it was pretty
Mm-hmm.
turned out pretty solid despite that. Like because it helps that it's 20 rounds too. Like you can take some L's because
Yeah,
we're drafting so
absolutely.
many players.
It also, one thing I talked about with easy is the variability in the way in which our game is scored, and the fact that you can get multiple Jordan Masons, like esque production from the back ends of draft to patchwork, like whatever, is so much different than football, because like you're literally throwing darts in the last couple rounds of drafts where it's like maybe I get one usable week, whereas in our game, like, dude, you can get mean production plus 3 spike weeks in the back end of the drafts here.
Yeah, when you think about it from football to baseball, like
Yeah.
football, you let's think of it in terms of like projected opportunity. Hardly any projected opportunity in terms
Right.
of targets or carries in the last round in football. You can find guys that are going to have 500 chances to hit a home run in
Right.
in the
Yes.
20th round in baseball. Like there's so much more opportunity to go around.
Yeah, perfectly articulated. Um, all right, Nez. We got a 2-3-4 right now.
Okay.
Two of my favorite targets on the board here. As you were alluding to, that kind of like pitching area was like the sweet spot for me, where we took Yamamoto, or where we took McLean, rather. So I end up taking a lot of Glass now, but I think I'd throw my hat in the ring for Royce Lewis here, unless there's anybody else you prefer.
Glass now I think is interesting because we already have a Dodger, so we're trying to like up our chances of a 2-start week.
Okay, sure.
So I think we should do that. Let's
Sounds good to
because if you
me.
get a 2-start Dodger, then out of these pitchers, then that's pretty solid. And I might throw my hat in the ring for one more starting pitcher here, but it
Okay,
might
cool.
be tough to pry you off of uh, Royce Lewis, but we'll see.
I'm good with it. I mean, I got lots of Royce Lewis, and I just primarily, you know, treat him as a one-off too. Like I'm just like, yeah, this might be a ceiling here. Like I don't do a ton of Buxton with him. I don't do a ton of Wallner with him. Sometimes I backstack like Correa with him in the last round for like a
Yeah,
safety blanket, because like the plate appearances with him are so much safer than the ones with Royce Lewis, that like you can condom your Royce Lewis builds by adding Correa in the last round or second last round.
yeah. The Twins are just made up of the most injury prone players of all time. But
And
man, when they're on the field,
so much platoon risk. All right, Nez, let's hear it, dude.
I think I would go Bybee or Sandy here.
Interesting. Okay, let's do Sandy. Um, I would do Bryce over both. Just the ballpark, the staff, what we saw last year. But yeah, I'm getting obviously bullish like everybody is now on Sandy. Although Easy brought up a good point the other day with the Sandy stuff, where it's like the knock on Sandy was always like he was an innings eater and he was a ground ball guy and he threw too effing hard. You knew he was eventually going to get hurt and not be able to repeat that. And then he comes back out and he throws way too effing hard in his first inning pitching in forever since Tommy John. And everybody's like, we're fucking back, baby. And it's like, yeah, well, we're kind of back to where we never wanted Sandy to live. Like we didn't want him, max velo over and over and over again. But the fact that he's throwing 99 can't be viewed as a bad thing.
No, he's different because like he's never been hurt before then. Like, yeah, he was eventually going to get hurt, but the fact that he was able to be so durable before then, like I'm willing to like bet on his Tommy John being successful,
Yeah.
and bouncing back. So that's why I like that. I just need to give a shout out to LeBron Iverson. This is how you know somebody's an OG and has been watching us for a long time. He said once he saw Nez taking Cannon Smith and Jigba, I was out on his late round picks. You definitely, that's definitely hilarious and a hell of a callback. But like I
Very
took Cannon
good.
Smith and Jigba like twice and hit on like a million other late round draft picks that were like absolute smashes. But salute for that callback because I don't think anybody remembered Cannon Smith and Jigba.
You know what's crazy though? Like a lot of the late round stuff you've ever hit on, or a lot of the stuff has been non-tethered to Pirates. The Pirates have been derailing outside of Skeens. Like every Pirate on those back end picks, like Smith and Jigma, Henry Davis, Cabrian Hayes, Jack
The only one that I hit was
Sawinski.
Mitch Keller. I got Mitch Keller right when
Keller.
nobody else was on Mitch
Yeah,
Keller. I had
that was
like
a good one.
40% Mitch Keller, and he was like undrafted.
Okay, we
in his
gotta
breakout
add
year.
this. We gotta add this to the rules list, Nez. We are pivoting the never list, and we are pivoting never Pirates in these drafts. We're pivoting that to never position Pirates.
Yes.
There we go.
Skeens, smash. Keller, smash.
Yeah.
Chandler, time will tell. But dude, Chandler's going in the 18th round now.
I saw you share that. I see him go. I think people are just thirsty for something to care about at pitching, and any little bit of news or any little bit of anything shifts value so much, Yeah. So the fact that you've mentioned Bubba a couple times, people have seen Bubba being taken. Keith Law talked up Bubba on the Rates and Barrels podcast. Maybe some of that stuff will get walked back in future podcasts now that we know that Andrew Heaney's going there. But I think people are just frothy to click different names.
Yeah, I unfortunately think one of their starters are on the move.
Which you think that would be Mitch Keller, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but we'll see. I don't think it would be mid-season. I'm just not sure what that rotation is going to look like, because I don't think Heaney's coming out of the pen.
Yeah, no, I don't. Yeah, I mean, left-handed long reliever. I mean, Faulkner could be the guy that comes out of the pen instead of DFAing him, and he's your long relief lefty. That makes more sense.
They have Luis Oviedo out of the rotation at the moment.
Okay.
So maybe he has a slow ramp up.
Okay. Nez, this is where I start playing the GD hits, but I will ask who you would like to add to this team.
Well, you make a pick here. What do you want to do?
I really enjoy this. I really enjoy learning what you're doing in spots that I know what I'm doing already.
Well, to me, this is like Jones or Yandy Diaz.
All right, let's take Jones
or Yandy Diaz.
Yeah, let's take Jones. Pairs well with the Skeens thing. Debuts a new sinker. Love it. Also gives us the out at 2 start weeks in the same way that you alluded to there, with like the pairing of 2 pitchers. I play the hits on this side of the board all the time by either doing Nolan Jones plus Michael Toglia or doing Yandy plus Josh Lowe, or some combination of Nolan Jones plus Josh Lowe, and then add one of the late stack partners later, like Ryan McMahon, or that's me playing the hits usually.
I'm starting to open my mind up to Parker Meadows.
Okay. I'm a little scared about the bicep injury, but definitely had a good second half last year. A lot of volatility in his profile. Who do you like, Nez? Do you like Meadows?
I think it's an interesting pick and opens us up to some different Detroit stuff at the end.
Okay, cool. Let's do it. I mean, if he leads off every day, yeah.
What's up with the bicep?
He was getting ramped up to throw again. It was like an in-game injury, and then he took the Sunday off. I don't know what the news nugget is exactly underneath it.
Right upper arm inflammation. Got it right here. Upper arm discomfort, being treated daily, reevaluated for baseball activities later this week. That was yesterday.
Yeah. So kind of similar to the Wyatt Langford timetable, I guess. I do believe it was throwing arm too, which is not ideal for an outfielder, but yeah.
Let's see. I know he hits left-handed. He throws right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I do think he's going to play damn near every day because he's got the glove to stay out there. And there's some late round picks to stack with him.
Was I bringing up when I typed in Meadows? Was I just instinctively clicking on Austin? No, I wasn't. You guys are lying.
Well, that is Austin, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
If you would have auto drafted Austin Meadows, that would have been awful.
When everybody was talking about like that's Austin. I was like, well, I know they're brothers, guys. They're answering Blake's question. Yes. Austin Meadows. Sad case of mental health, anxiety stuff. Because he was a big time prospect for a little bit there. Former Rays bat, and then got traded to Detroit.
Vinny?
No, his brother, Austin Meadows.
Oh, I mean, he was a Tiger for a bit. He was a Pirate.
He was a Pirate before he was a Ray.
Yeah. He went to the Rays for that the quote unquote worst trade of all time that people.
Oh, Chris Archer.
He was him and Glasnow went to Tampa, and Shane Baz.
Wow, what a trade! I forgot about Shane Baz too. Dude, imagine if you rolled into this year and your rotation was Glasnow, Garrett Cole, Shane Baz, Skeens, and Jared Jones. Okay. I forgot you love the laundry. I can't make too much fun.
Wouldn't that be something?
Wouldn't that be something? Oh my gosh. Wow. You can see the life leaving Nez's body. His eyes are already dead.
John loves some low-hanging fruit.
Oh man. Good clean fun. Good clean fun. All right. What are we doing here? Nolan Jones goes over there. Tolia goes over there. The icon, people are pointing out in the chat that the icon was absolutely flipping the board here. Was he ever? One outfielder. So he's doing like hero outfielder and then just cranked purple for like 7 rounds.
Hit him with the icon over there.
Hit him with the icon. Okay, Nez. We got a 5-3-5 right now. No real stack partners staring us in the face unless we want to go scrolling. We got a whole bunch of pitchers here, many of which I like. Do you like any of them? Who would you select?
I would take Jonathan India here.
All right. Another guy I have yet to draft. Just leading off in front of Bobby Witt just feels good to you?
Yeah, him hitting leadoff in front of Bobby Witt, Vinny P, Sal Perez every day.
Yep.
Pretty good hitter. I
you
like
don't mind him unstacked?
Not really, no, just because he hits leadoff.
Okay.
You know, like he's not like, you know, he's not. We're not really taking him for ribbies necessarily.
Yeah. See, my thought process goes the other way because it's like he's such an accumulator because he's being driven in by Bobby Witt and not providing the punch or the production that scores the big fantasy points. That he's a guy that's like almost stack only for me.
I think just he's so cheap that it doesn't have to be that way.
Yeah, that's fair. Absolutely. All right, Nez, we got 5-4-5 going. Comes back to us. Anyone else you're liking here?
No, this is a pretty shitty area. You could do Robbie Ray if you're a believer in the comeback in the park. You're a Fott guy.
I'll take my guy. I'm a Brandon Fott guy through and through. Brandon Fott guy. I'm a big believer in the strikeout rate, big believer in the stuff, adding pitches. I don't see why he can't be a horse in that staff right behind Corbin Burns.
Yeah, I gotta become probably more of a Fott guy, but I'm just really not there. Why don't you wax poetically about Brandon Fott to me and sell me the pen?
I mean, it's a decent place to pitch. It's not amazing to pitch, but like he displayed that he could be a horse the last 2 years between minors and big leagues, and then big leagues in big spots, pitched in the postseason. Like, just the strikeout rates look good. Walk stuff is a little bit down. He just seems like a ceiling guy in a range where there's like not a ton of ceiling.
Yeah.
He was a former big time prospect guy too.
Right. We need him to revert back to those high K rates for sure. Cause small sample size in 23, but last year the ERA wasn't great, but all the underlying stuff says that it's going to come down in a big way. So
yeah,
he's a good upside. He's a good upside shot.
Yeah, I mean, like he had the pedigree, and if you can get back to those strikeout rates, as you alluded to, like those 9s creep back up to the 10s and 11s, and maybe it was just pitching against worse competition. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe he is more of an innings eater guy than a true alpha strikeout ceiling type. Yeah, I gotta look into his like pitch mix and stuff like that here in a bit before I keep pounding the table for him.
Yeah, I mean the fact that he had all that volume is super super awesome.
Yeah, sweepers elite. Yeah, adding pitches. Hate 25-year-old striking out 185 and disappointing the entire world. Yeah, it's kind of where I'm at on it. Where it's like I look in that range and I see what pops out to me in that range is Pivetta, Fott, Taj Bradley, Christopher Sanchez, who touched 99 the other day, 98 or something the other day. A guy who usually sat lower than that. He was hitting high numbers there. Like, I just look for these like potential high strikeout rate guys who have good, solid roles on their own teams right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's totally fair. That's totally fair. I'll get to some more Brandon Fott. I think he is definitely a nice pick that late.
6-4-5 here, Nez. Not a whole lot of stacking going on. We could start thinking about some back stack potential. We got the 3 Mets in there. I tend to get very stack happy. Like, as soon as I take Matt McLain, I go, let's make a correlated bet with Christian Encarnacion Strand. Like, that's where my mind goes. I think about the Detroit stuff. I go, let's tack on a breakout to Colt Keith on this team. Yeah, where does your mind go?
What pick are we at? So we've got like 5 more picks to go. Yeah. Is it too? I mean, I do want Colt Keith on this team for the stack. I don't know if it's too early.
There's no such thing as too early when you're drafting with me under this profile.
Yeah, just grab him.
I could care less about ADP, my friend.
I'm not really a Christian Encarnacion Strand guy.
Why not?
I mean, what are we expecting from Christian Encarnacion Strand? Is he even an everyday player?
Yeah, probably that he just like starts at first base every single day. That would probably be.
Will he though?
Case. I don't know.
Because where's Spencer Steer playing?
Steers played the outfield. He played the outfield a lot last year. He played left field a lot, did he not?
He played left field 100 games, but he played first base 60 games. I thought he was going to be there starting first base.
Do you know who got hurt last year? Who do you like here, Nez?
Are you setting me up there?
Bleeding clock. We're playing the hits. We're stacking up Rooker.
Okay.
We were bleeding clock, and I couldn't let us take like a Jeremy Pena or something like that. We got to get stack happy here. Christian Encarnacion Strand was hurt all last year, right? Like, he was gone for the year. So there goes your first base plan. So then they bring in Yarmir Candelario. I always fuck up his name.
They call switch him hitter. They just give him the hard J, even though it's it's clearly a Latin pronunciation. But yeah, because like their outfield, I think is going to be Friedel, Fraley, and then they signed Austin Hayes. So maybe they against like against
Hayes is a
lefties, I
lefty
guess maybe
killer.
Fraley would be out. And then against
Like
righties, though.
Like Hayes is a lefty killer, and he'd be a weak side platoon guy that starts against lefties and maybe can play himself into a center field role. Their outfield's like pretty loaded with not good talent, but with like players. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So like against righties,
Mm-hmm.
are you kicking out Hayes, putting in Steer in left field, and then like you gotta get CES at first base?
I guess. Yeah, I think so. But it's weird because they're both right-handed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Candelario is going to be a trade piece for a potential contending team. 31. He was a trade acquisition last year from the Cubs or.
All right, where does Strand go anyways? What is his ADP?
It probably just doesn't exist. I've seen him go in a couple drafts, but infield 91.
Okay. He's definitely a stack option.
Like later in the season when they're out of it, potentially, hypothetically, right? Or even maybe if they're pushing. I mean, Friedel and Fraley can basically just split jobs. Like they're full-fledged platoon guys, been there their whole lives, platoon guys. You know, Gavin Lux plays DH / second base / insurance policy for Matt McLean's health. Steer in left field. Yeah, I guess it comes down to if Steer is everyday first baseman or not, or if they want Christian Encarnacion Strong.
He might end up like just forcing his way into the lineup, which I don't think is far fetched. So
yeah,
and it's mostly playing time.
Mm-hmm. The other one there is Noel V. Marte. Like Noel V. Marte is probably their best prospect still. He got suspended last year.
He really kind of like fell off.
Yeah. But you got to think like Jamer Candelario, if he's on the move, or like they just don't need to give 31-year-old guy at bats late in the season. They want to see what they got in the young guys. He plays third base. Encarnacion Strong plays first. The outfield is Steer, one of the lefties, and Hayes in center.
Okay. Yeah. I can get behind CES.
Interesting. Tito said he wants to see him at third potentially. So we'll see what that looks like in spring.
All right. I hear you guys. I hear you.
Friedel will be a platoon. Yeah.
Xander stack for the Padres build for Sam.
Reds lineup for August 2nd's already out, so why don't we just check it? That's pretty good. Okay, we got to think about who we are going to start selecting here, Nez. Shit. 665 right now. Yeah, just throw me a name.
How about Matt Vierling for the Detroit stack?
Oh, gross. Where's the I in Vierling?
I before E, brother.
Matt Vierling. I'm a little concerned he's a platoon guy, but he had a lot of plate appearances last night. If he ends up being their everyday third hitter, he's like pretty undervalued.
Yeah, I feel pretty strongly about his playing time. He's super utility. You know, he's not just like locked into one spot. 57 games in center, 51 at third, 36 in right, 13 in left, 1 at first base.
Right. Yeah, okay. Like it.
And their team just yeah.
I'm trying to think through yeah, I mean, I guess maybe his playing time hindered with Kerry Carpenter being an everyday player and staying in the lineup versus lefties. Is that the push pull? Or here, let's make this next pick here. 666 Bad Omen. Any name on planet Earth for you?
I
Bubba?
see Yiner and Bubba. Two of my favorites.
Let's do Bubba. I don't have a ton of Bubba. It is weird to add a third pirate, I guess. We're limiting our ceiling at potential 2-start weeks. I didn't think about that until I clicked it. Yeah, I'm more stack pilled than you for sure. Like I wouldn't just like tack on Naked Yanner here. I would tack on like Soderstrom because I'm like, what's the difference in their potential ceilings? Why not just get it correlated? That's kind of like where my mind goes. Do you think like Yanner's like a way better bet than like Soderstrom as an example, or than Christian Encarnacion Strand? That one probably not 1-to-1. But like, where does your mind go with projected innings and plate appearances versus stack equity?
I've seen. I mean, Yiner has had a full season in the majors, and Soderstrom hasn't. And Yiner in his full season was awesome. Like he's not he's he DHs a ton, right? I mean, they put him in the lineup a lot. He played 148 games last year, slugged 440, and he's 26. There's a chance that he gets better, hitting in or around a lineup with Christian Walker, Jose Altuve, Yordan Alvarez. So I've seen him play a full season, and I know he's good, and I know the lineup's good. Soderstrom, I haven't seen a full season of Soderstrom, so he's just kind of a mystery box. Whereas Yiner, I know Yiner. He's my friend.
So he's a friend. So where's the tiebreak pendulum for you between stacking and not stacking with these last couple picks? Is it total number of stacks on your team? Is it fourth player or third player added? Is it just vibes? What is it?
It's not like anything like hard and fast by any means. Okay. Like if you wanted Soderstrom, I wouldn't like say hell no. It's just I just in a vacuum prefer Yiner over Soderstrom, and I don't think I would take Soderstrom over Yiner because I have an Oakland Day on my team.
Got it. Okay, cool. Hot debated Joe Adele talk in the chat. Like it. Josh saying he thinks Lawrence Butler's gonna have a monster year. You're in good company there. I mean, 10 war shit. Like that's 10 war.
Not just 10 war shit, John. You have to say type shit.
Oh, type shit. That's fucking that's insane. That's insane.
I love hearing you say it. John, people just like will just say it as like a filler word. You just be like, yeah, type shit.
Gotcha.
So hearing you say that just like crack just made my day.
Type shit. Yo, Garrett Mitchell, poor man's outfielder, type shit.
We should have never taught him.
Type shit.
The young kids in the audience are cringing so hard.
This is like giving a baby candy. I'm done now. I'm just gonna be clamoring for it. Hey, get your Mr. Good Boys in the chat. My dog is lounging. Nez 766. I think it should be an infielder. Soderstrom's our break glass in case of emergency. Christopher Morel, I love as a one-off. Anyone else that could stack with Kansas City and or Detroit?
Not that I can think of. No, I think Soderstrom makes sense here.
All right, sounds good to me there. Bang, Soderstrom. Love to see it. Mr. Good Boys out. Mr. Good Boys out.
Goofy ass team.
This is a goofy ass team. Yeah. A lot of guys that I don't draft basically ever or yet. That Max Kepler pick is interesting if he's going to get every day at bats there.
I like Max Kepler a lot.
I like it. Yeah, I took him once last night. Festa as a guy who's popping in spring a little bit with a decent upside profile. I like that. That's cool. Nez, we are on a hard and tight schedule here. I got 1 minute, and then I'm going to push all of you over to our good friends at Unabated there. Nez, we finished with a 776. Your boy Skeens, Yamamoto, Glasnow, Sandy Alcantara, JJ, a.k.a. Jared Jones, Brandon Fott, Bubba Chandler, O'Neill Cruz. Holy fuck, we have 4 Pirates. Mark Vientos, Matt McLean, Jonathan India no longer stacks with Matt McLean, Colt Keith, Shea, bang, Lily Ears, Tyler Soderstrom, Soto, Brent Rooker, Nimmo, plantar fasciitis. Don't draft him unless you're stacking. Jason Dominguez leading off every single day, maybe, question mark. Parker Meadows with the tricep, and then Matt Vierling as a scroll the F down stack who might play super util. What do you think, Nez?
This is a goofy one. Let me look at the infield again.
Cruz, Vientos, McLean, India, Keith, Shea Langeliers, Soderstrom. Holy shit. On the sucks or fucks scale, Nez, does this suck or fuck?
This team might be fucking a little bit. This team might be fucking a little bit.
Sucks.
No, it doesn't. Come on. We are absolutely beating the lobby at pitcher. Our pitching staff is disgusting. We're just we got a bunch of bodies in the infield.
All right. Short and sweet at the end here, Nez. I want to push all those people on time over to our friends Justin Pham, SBK, and John over there running the Set the Screen show. Go enjoy that one at Unabated. Good luck tonight in the NBA lobbies. On behalf of Nez and myself, we'll be back tomorrow doing some combine stuff, and keep your ears to the ground. Nez is going to go live 10 a.m. Eastern time tomorrow to give you the first look at NBA slate tomorrow. That's it. Anything else to add, Nez?
No, I'll see you in the NBA lobbies, and I'll see you bright and early tomorrow.
Perfect. Everybody's favorite time of the show. The end. Peace. Hit that like, subscribe, notification, blah, 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 blah.